You guys ever heard of the Nintendo DS? It was pretty popular. This is my Nintendo DS game collection. I believe I got my first DS, my DS Lite, in 2009 or 2008, either one of those years. I got that console. It was actually the first console of any kind that I ever owned myself. Yeah, my first handheld console, but also just my first console in general. And yeah, it was a pretty big deal. I really loved the DS, and I got a bunch of games for it. I played it to death. I had a blue DS Lite. That was the first console I had, and eventually it broke because I was not too kind to it. So I eventually got a silver DS Lite. It was a second-hand DS Lite, but it still worked perfectly fine. Yeah, and I eventually got like a 3DS, but I got the DS first, obviously. These are all the games that I've accumulated for it, so I thought I would go through them here and just kind of talk about how I feel about them and all that fun stuff. I'll probably be skipping over games that aren't as noteworthy because I have quite a few licensed games and games that are just kind of they were fun when I was like 9 or 10, but looking back, like there wasn't too much to them. But yeah, I'll be kind of trying to give a little bit of commentary on each one. So yeah, they're mostly in alphabetical order, but there's a little bit of inconsistency with that. But who cares, right? Let's start off with the first game here. We have Hot Wheels Beat That. I actually remember playing this game quite a lot. It's basically just a basic racing game. There's not really much else to it, but you race as the Hot Wheels cars, so that's fun. Yeah, I actually played this one quite a bit. It was pretty fun. It was a racing game. Moving on. Next, we have Phineas and Ferb Ride Again, which I actually have learned is the sequel to the first Phineas and Ferb DS game, because there was one before this one that had a pretty similar playstyle, but then they came out with this one. It's a simple little licensed 3D platformer based on Phineas and Ferb, and you get to play as Phineas and Ferb and also Perry the Platypus, and there's some cool stuff that happens in it. Other than that, it's just kind of a game that exists. Next, we have Lego Batman the video game. This one I remember loving as a kid. I think Lego Batman is, pretty well known as one of the better Lego games, or at least I'm pretty sure that's how the general opinion is, but I don't completely know, but to me at least, Lego Batman was always a really good Lego game. I had several Lego games, but this is one of the ones that really stuck out. I loved playing as Batman, and all these you could play as quite a few Batman characters in this game. You didn't just have to play as Batman. I mean, obviously, I'm assuming most Lego games have that option. You can play as multiple characters, but this one was just extra cool. I'm pretty sure you got to play as both heroes and villains. Like there was two separate stories, for either or. So this one was pretty fun. I also had the Wii version. Moving on, we have Nickelodeon SpongeBob's Atlantis SquarePantis. I don't think the Nickelodeon is technically part of the title, but I said it anyway. Yeah, this is one of the SpongeBob games I had, based on the episode Atlantis SquarePantis. I don't really think I played this one very much, and I'll explain why in a minute. Actually, from what I remember about playing this, I couldn't get past the first level, and I think that just prevented me from playing through it entirely because I was a dumb little kid and I didn't know how to get past the first level, and so I was like, well, I guess that's all the playtime I'm getting out of that game. Yeah, it's a SpongeBob game. Moving on. Next, we have another SpongeBob game, Creature from the Krusty Krab. I don't remember playing this one nearly as much. In fact, I definitely remember playing Atlantis SquarePantis, even though I was only playing the first level. I remember playing the first level of that game. I don't remember playing this game. I probably did play it, but I don't remember anything about it. It looks like it's a 2D platformer with other elements to it, but yeah, not too much more to say about that one. Next, we have the first actual game of note here, Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story. So Mario and Luigi is a fantastic franchise. It's sad that the developers are the development team or company, what have you, they're out of business now. So the future of Mario and Luigi is pretty uncertain at this point. But this game, I'd say, I don't think it's too far-fetched to say that this is the magnum opus of the Mario and Luigi series. Mario and Luigi is a fantastic series of, you know, basic RPGs. They're pretty easy, all things considered. I mean, they're not easy in terms of like, you know, they get hard, but you know, in terms of like the grand scope of RPGs, they're fairly easy, simple to understand, but definitely really fun games. And this one, I remember playing a ton. I had so much hype for this game when it was coming out, and I had never even played a Mario and Luigi game at this point. This was the first one I ever played, but it was still like one of my favorite games for the DS at the time. And you got to go inside Bowser, and you got to play as Bowser, and you know, he was in the overworld, and then, or the, you know, he was in the main world, and then you explored his body as Mario and Luigi. That was pretty awesome. It's a pretty fun time. Moving on, we have 100 all-time favorites. I don't think I ever played this game. Moving on. No, but it looks like there's just like a bunch of like, you know, card games and board games in this. It's probably a fun time. It definitely caters to the more like casual DS crowd. I don't actually remember getting this. I guess whoever got it for me was just like, yeah, that looks fun for a 10-year-old, and then I was like, I kind of disagree, so that's why I never played it. Moving on, we have Cars the video game. I don't think I ever played this. Yeah, I don't remember playing this at all. So, there you go. Next, we have Club Penguin Elite Penguin Force. This was another game that I loved as a kid. I loved Club Penguin. I played the online, you know, Club Penguin MMORPG game, whatever have you. The online Club Penguin, the main Club Penguin. I played that a ton, and so when I heard this game was coming out, I knew I wanted it, and it definitely delivered as a Club Penguin game. Like it was really good. I think for a kid's Club Penguin game, I think it delivered pretty well. In fact, I would say this is definitely better than the sequel, which I'll talk about in a minute here. But yeah, there was a lot to it. It basically played like the online missions that were in Club Penguin, except you had like 13 new missions to go on, and it was really fun. And there was a lot to do, and there was a little side quest you could do. There's a bunch of like little features. You could transfer your coins from the game onto the online Club Penguin. It was awesome. It was so good. I love this one. And then eventually they came out with a sequel, Club Penguin Herbert's Revenge. And you know, I also really loved this game, not as much as the first Club Penguin Elite Penguin Force game, but it was still pretty good. The thing about this game is that a lot of the content in this game is kind of reused from you know, the main Club Penguin game. They had, you know, once again, they had like a mission structure, so you go on these missions. But I remember there was like 5 or 6 missions in this game that were just ripped directly from the actual Club Penguin game, and so it felt kind of pointless to have them in this, because you could just go online and play them. And they did serve a story purpose. Like there was an explanation of why you were playing those missions in this game, but it was still kind of lame. So definitely prefer the first one over this one, but you know, at the end of the day, they're both Club Penguin games. You know, you're not really gonna get much out of this if you're not like a kid that's really into Club Penguin. But still, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it for what it was. Next, we have Garfield's Fun Fest. The next game we have is Lego Battles Ninjago. So this is another Lego game. I don't remember playing this one as much. I think at this point I had a lot of Lego games, and I was just kind of getting burnt out on them. They all kind of play the same when you get down to it, from what I remember at least. You know, they try to make each one different. And Lego Ninjago, there was a lot of hype for Ninjago, I remember, when it was first coming out, because it was like, whoa, it's Lego Ninjas, it's so awesome. And they had the TV show, and you know, it was pretty cool. Eventually they came out with a movie, but that was like years down the line. But at the time, you know, I remember just kind of being like, it's another Lego game. And I was like I was like probably like 10 or 11 at the time, so, you know, take that what you will. Maybe it's a good game. Well, I guess I'll never know. Moving on, we have Lego Indiana Jones, The Original Adventures. This is what I'm talking about. I had a lot of Lego games. Eventually, I kind of got burnt out on them. I remember playing this one a little bit more than the other ones, but Lego Batman, I definitely played the most. This one, probably like second or third, and then Lego Ninjago's was like, that was like the least. I played that one the least. And this one was all right, I remember. It was a Lego game. Next, we have Lego Pirates of the Caribbean. This one I remember playing the second most out of my Lego games. And that's why I said that Indiana Jones was the third. There's not really much more to say about this. I had never even seen Pirates of the Caribbean, the movie. I still haven't. Same with Indiana Jones. But, you know, it was alright. You play as a pirate. Moving on. Next, we have New Super Mario Bros. This is a DS game. This is, like, probably one of the best DS games. Probably one of the best ones that I own, at least. But, yeah, this was a really good game. And I actually got this game pretty late in my time playing the DS. I already had a pretty good library of games built up besides this one before I actually got this one. And in fact, I think I had every other New Super Mario Bros. Game before I got this one. I'm pretty sure I had New Super Mario Bros. Wii. I got that one on the Wii. And then I got New Super Mario Bros. 2 for the 3DS. And then I got a Wii U. And then I got New Super Mario Bros. U. And then I got this one. Which I think is really weird in the grand scheme of things. Because this is obviously like the original OG New Super Mario Bros. And this, you know, this laid the groundwork for like every other New Super Mario Bros. Game. It was the last one that I played. But you know what? It's still a really good game. It's still definitely, it might be the best New Super Mario Bros. Game. You know what? No, I'm hesitant to say that. It's between this one and Wii, for sure. At least to me. Those are probably the two best games in the series. In terms of just like originality and you know, excitement that built around the game. I mean, by the time that New Super Mario Bros. U came out, no one really wanted any more New Super Mario Bros. Games, but we kept getting them. But this one was the first one, and so it'll always have that over the other ones. And it's a really good game. It's definitely a must-have for any DS owner, I'll say that much. Next, we have Plants vs. Zombies. I remember I played Plants vs. Zombies on mobile, I think on my mom's phone or on my mom's tablet, a whole bunch. And it was so fun. I loved Plants vs. Zombies. And so when I heard they had a DS game, but the thing was, it was on my mom's tablet. And so, you know, she wanted to use her tablet. So I was like, well, this sucks because I don't have a way to play this on my own. And then she got me this game. And I was like, well, that's cool. Now I can play this game instead of taking up, you know, time playing my mom's iPad or whatever. And it's pretty much just the original Plants vs. Zombies. There's not really much more to this game from what I remember besides just the original the original Plants vs. Zombies. There is like extra modes, but I'm pretty sure most releases of Plants vs. Zombies, like on mobile and console releases, they include those modes. So I don't think there's anything in this that is particular to the DS version. But it's still it's Plants vs. Zombies. It's pure, simple Plants vs. Zombies fun, and it's a good game. I quite like Plants vs. Zombies. And now I'm gonna be probably talking about a lot of Pokemon games because I have a lot of Pokemon games for the DS. In fact, I might have a copy of every single Pokemon game. Well, that's not true. There's some that I don't have, or at least one that I don't have. But first we have Pokemon Black. Pokemon Black is a really good game. I mean, I'm gonna be saying that about every Pokemon DS game because they're all good. They're all fantastic in my opinion. Pokemon might have peaked on the DS. I said it. I don't know how. Take that as you will, but it was a really good time for Pokemon. You know, obviously Pokemon Black and White were kind of polarizing when they were coming out. Oh, what are all these new Pokemon? Oh, they look so stupid. But I think pretty much every Pokemon fan looks at these looks back at these fondly, and I'm definitely one of them. I love this game. I loved it at the time too, but I love it. I can appreciate it a lot more nowadays, based on the Pokemon games that come out nowadays. This one had a lot of positive things. I have a lot of positive things to say about this game, but maybe I'll do a standalone review someday, because this might be one of my favorite. This is one of my favorite Pokemon games. Not my favorite, but one of my favorites. Next, we have Pokemon Black 2. This one is also really good. I don't know if it's better than Black. It definitely has a lot more content than Black. I'll say that much. But I don't know if that makes it a better game. I mean, like, it depends on your definition of a better game. But there was a lot of good. I was really excited for this game when it was coming out, because it came out. I remember seeing like promotional material for this game, for the Japanese release of this game, because back then they would release the Japanese version of these games months before the US release, or sometimes even like a year before. But I was really excited for these games, and so I followed the Japanese news for this game, because it was coming out faster than the US news. And I just wanted to play it so bad, and I finally got it, and I played the hell out of this game. And eventually I played it so much that well, we'll talk about that in a minute, but yeah, this one was a really fun one. Definitely really good Pokemon game. Next we have Pokemon Conquest. So this one, from what I understand, this is a really niche Pokemon game. I don't think a lot of people have played this game. I don't even think there's that many copies of it, because I remember it came out pretty late in the DS's lifespan. Same with Pokemon Black 2, actually. Pokemon Black 2 came out in 2012, and that was a year after the 3DS had come out. In fact, I'm pretty sure Pokemon Black, the original Pokemon Black, came out around the same time as the 3DS. So by then it was like, when is Pokemon coming to the 3DS? This was one of the last Pokemon games that they released for the DS, also in 2012. And this one is actually a spin-off, a combination between Pokemon and the series. I think it's Nobunaga's Ambition or something like that, or Nobunaga's Ambition, something along those lines. It is I don't know. I forget what the genre. It's like, it's not MMORPG. It's like a JRPG. Is it called No, tactical RPG. That's what it is. It's very much like Fire Emblem, but you control you control Pokemon trainers, and they all have certain Pokemon. And I'm pretty sure it's a pretty good game if you're into those types of games. I was never really into those types of games, so I remember playing this and being like super confused, and overall like I was just not good at it. But nowadays I'm pretty. Is it in here? Yeah, it's in here. Okay. I think this might be sort of a rare game now, which I think is kind of interesting. But yeah, I was never really into it. Maybe I'll try it out again someday. But right now it just kind of sits in my collection. Next we have Pokemon Diamond. So Pokemon Diamond, this is also a really good game. It's probably the worst. This and Pearl are probably the worst DS Pokemon games, and that's simply because these were Diamond and Pearl were the first DS Pokemon games. There was a lot of things wrong with it. Just in the transition from GBA to DS, there was a lot of things that had to be polished up. And that's why they eventually made a third version of these, Platinum. But the original Diamond and Pearl, they're not bad games, but there's definitely a lot of, like, if you've played any other Pokemon game after Diamond, and even like Platinum, you can see like the problems that, you can see that this game has a few quirks, I guess is what I would call them. But it's still a good Pokemon game. Moving on, we have Pokemon Heart Gold. This game right here, this is my favorite Pokemon game of all time. This was also the first Pokemon game that I ever owned myself, and the first that I ever played, I think. I mean, like, I don't think I knew what Pokemon was. I thought it was for nerds, because I was a very judgmental kid. And that was like the stereotype. Oh, Pokemon. Oh, you play Pokemon. Oh, you're a nerd. And so when I got a Pokemon game, when my parents bought me this for Christmas, not really knowing what Pokemon was, but I remember they told me that when they were at the store getting me the games that I did want, the person at the register of wherever they were buying the games from, Target or something. They were just like, yeah, like this game had just come out, and the employee was just like, yeah, Pokemon is like super hot right now. Like, I think your kid would really love this. So they bought me this game, not really know if I would really like it or not. I opened it up and was kind of like, oh, okay, thanks. And that was, I had never played a Pokemon game, so to me it just kind of looked weird. What is this weird bird thing on the front? Who are these people? What's going on here? So I wasn't really into it. And then one day I decided to play it. I was like, you know what, screw it, I'm gonna try it out. And then I could not put it down. I was so into this game, and this made me into a Pokemon fan, like a hardcore Pokemon fan. So this is where the decline of my life started. But yeah, definitely one of my favorite games in my collection. And just overall, my favorite Pokemon game of all time. It's definitely not, I would even hesitate to call it the best Pokemon game. I don't think it's that at all, really. I mean, it might be, I don't know. But it's definitely my favorite. If not purely because of nostalgia, this is my favorite Pokemon game. Moving on, we have Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Darkness. So the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon series is a really good series of spin-off Pokemon games. In fact, it might be the best Pokemon spin-off series of all time. They're really good games. I don't know if the gameplay is for everybody. I would hesitate to say that it's for everybody, but it's still, if you can find an appreciation for the gameplay, you will definitely love this game and every aspect of it. This and Explorers of Time, which I also have here. These were very much like the standard main series Pokemon releases, where they released 2 versions that had slight differences to them. And then they eventually released a 3rd version, Pokemon Explorers of Sky, which I do not own, but I do own these 2. And they're both, they're pretty similar. Like, there's not much about them that's very different, from what I recall. But I would definitely, like, if you're gonna play a game like these, try to get Sky, because it's probably the definitive version of these Mystery Dungeon games, because there are, of course, other Mystery Dungeon, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon games, but of the trio, Sky is definitely the best one. But these are still really good, and I remember really loving these. I remember I got stuck on the final boss of this one. I never really played this one as much, because by the time I got this, I had already pretty much completed this game, so I didn't see a whole lot of point. I didn't see much of a point of playing through this one, but I still played through a good amount of it. And I really like these. These are good games. Next, we have Pokemon Platinum. So, like I was saying earlier, Pokemon Platinum is probably the definitive Generation 4 Pokemon game. Better than both Diamond and Pearl, I think. I actually own Pearl. I forgot to mention this, but I actually do own a copy of Pokemon Pearl, but I don't have the box. I'm pretty sure it's because I got a used copy of Pokemon Pearl, so I never ended up getting the physical box for it, but I do own the cartridge. But Pokemon Platinum, this is also probably one of my favorite Pokemon games. There's a lot good about this game. I mean, just look at the box art. Like, yeah, little sparkles. That's cool. This is a nice little touch. They didn't need to do that, but they did. And yeah, I'm really glad that I ended up getting a copy of this game, because this game is not too cheap nowadays. It's definitely a game that a lot of people are looking back fondly on nowadays, and getting nostalgia for. But yeah, I really love this one. It's pretty good. Moving on, we have Pokemon Ranger Guardian Sign. So this is another Pokemon spin-off game. In this game, you're a Pokemon Ranger, and in order to capture them, you draw circles around the Pokemon, and that's pretty much it. I remember there was a demo for back in the day, they would have these little kiosks in grocery stores. I remember there was a little kiosk in Walmart, or I don't know if it's display, I guess is a better way to put it. They had a little DS on display that anybody could play, and they had a little demo of Pokemon Ranger Shadows of Almia, which is the prequel to this game. And I remember playing that game and really liking it. I was like, well, at the time, I just liked anything Pokemon. And so I was like, whoa, this is kind of a cool game. And so I wanted Pokemon Ranger, and then I got this game, which was not Shadows of Almia. But I think this might be better than Shadows of Almia. I've never played through Shadows of Almia. But I'm pretty sure, if you're a fan of Pokemon Ranger, I'm pretty sure this is like regarded as the best in the series. They only made 3, if I recall. I think they only made the original Pokemon Ranger, and then Shadows of Almia, and then this one. But I'm pretty sure this is the best one, if not just because it's the last one that they ever did. The gameplay is pretty repetitive. That's probably the biggest flaw to this game, but there's a lot to like about it. It's not horrible, but Mystery Dungeon, in terms of Pokemon spin-offs, is definitely still probably better than this game. But it's not bad. Pretty sure it's on the Wii U eShop, so if you want to pick it up, there you go. I mean, you have a little bit of time, and then eventually eShop's going to close, so use your time wisely. Next, we have Pokemon Soul Silver. This is the counterpart to Pokemon Heart Gold. I pretty much just wanted this because I really liked Heart Gold, and I was like, I want to play Heart Gold again. So I got the sequel instead of just restarting my game, because I did not want to restart my game in Heart Gold. I spent a lot of time grinding in that game. I did not want to just delete all my progress. So I got this game, and it's pretty much similar. It's like there's not too much, there's not really ever too many differences between the two versions of Pokemon games whenever they come out. So not much more to say about this one besides that I didn't say about Heart Gold, besides the fact that that's not the same Pokemon. But it's still really good. This is still Heart Gold and Soul Silver, solid games. Next we have Pokemon White 2. That's right. I love Pokemon Black 2 so much that I just needed to get the sequel. Or I needed to get the counterpart, and so I did. And there's not much more to say about this one. It's good. Black 2 was good, so White 2 is good. They're both good. Moving on. Next we have Scribblenauts. So Scribblenauts, this was actually a game that I was not expecting to like as much as I did. I didn't really, this was around I had my DS for a couple months at this point, and I was just kind of looking for other games to get for it. And I remember, I think my aunt bought me this game, not really knowing what it was. And I was just like, interesting. Write anything, solve anything. Yeah, I thought it looked kind of neat. And so I played it, and it was pretty good. I liked Scribblenauts. I don't know if this is I feel like this is kind of a niche series, but they still support it. You can still buy Scribblenauts on the Switch. They have, I'm pretty sure, a release that includes Scribblenauts Unlimited and Scribblenauts, it's called Scribblenauts Unmasked, I'm pretty sure, which has a bunch of DC superhero content in it. And they're pretty fun games. It's kind of misleading because this box art, at least to me, kind of makes it look like you're drawing all this stuff and then it's making it come to life. But in reality, you write out words for stuff and you make stuff that way. It's still fun though. I still really like the Scribblenauts games, so this is a good one. Next we have SpongeBob SquarePants featuring Nicktoons Globs of Doom. This is a really interesting game. I remember it's pretty much just like a platformer. A lot of these licensed games were platformers. You play as Nicktoons characters. You don't just play as SpongeBob, contrary to what this title might make you think. Well, I mean, title includes Nicktoons, so I guess it's not that misleading. But you get to play as a bunch of different Nicktoons, which was pretty cool. I don't remember ever playing too much of this game, but I definitely liked the idea that you could play as a variety of Nicktoons in this. That was definitely a very novel concept. And it's okay. I don't remember liking it that much when I was little. But if there's any value to it, it's the fact that you can play as freaking that guy. That guy's freaking awesome. I don't actually know who that is. But yeah, anyway, moving on. We have Super Mario 64 DS. You know what? No, we're not going to talk about that one yet. We're going to talk about Super Scribblenauts really quick. Because Super Scribblenauts is the sequel to Scribblenauts. I know. Shocker. And this is also, I remember, this is the game that I wanted for Christmas. The same Christmas that I got Pokemon Heart Gold. The game that changed my life. This is the game I wanted instead of that one. And it's definitely more Scribblenauts. Is it fun? Yes. Is it Scribblenauts? Yes. Is there anything really more to say about it? No. So yeah, and I wanted to talk about that game first because I wanted to talk about this game last. Super Mario 64 DS. This is another game that I got pretty late into my time playing the DS. And I don't really know why, because this was always a game that I wanted. Ever since I got my DS, I knew I wanted this game, but I just never got it. There was just other games that I got instead. But it's interesting because this is actually a launch title. Okay, that was unfortunate. This is a launch title for the DS. And this was such a novel concept at the time. The fact that you could play Super Mario 64 on the go, that's freaking crazy. And this is a really interesting game for a multitude of reasons. First off, it's not just Mario 64. There is much more to this game than what was in Mario 64, the original for N64. First of all, you don't just play as Mario. You can play as Yoshi and Luigi and Wario. That's freaking insane. And it was pretty cool, the fact that you could do that. Second of all, there was a lot more content in this game than there was in the original release of Mario 64. So that's pretty cool. Third of all, I'm hesitant to say that this is the definitive release of Mario 64, because there's a lot about this game that makes it kind of weird and not that great in a lot of cases. First of all, the control scheme. So the DS doesn't have a circle pad or any sort of like joystick. Obviously, one of the big novel concepts of Super Mario 64, the original Mario 64, was that it was the first 3D Mario game. Well, there might have been another, I don't know. It was the first 3D main series Mario game. And so, you know, you can control Mario in like 360 degree motion, right? Well, the DS, fun fact about the DS, it doesn't have a good way for you to control anyone or any character in 360 degree motion. You can still use the D-pad in this game, but it's not always the most ideal. The game was designed to have that 360 degree motion, movement option. So they had other options for you to use. You could use, there was this weird like thumb peripheral that you could use to like control the like Mario on the touch screen, which is kind of weird. Or you could just use a stylus on the touch screen and you could control the characters 360 degree movement wise that way. But it was really weird and it was just really inconvenient to control. So overall, you know, I really hope, but this is still a really good game. Like, don't get me wrong, this is a good DS game. But I just really hope that one day they not even re-release, but remake this game, you know, with all the same content, but make it so you can use like a joystick to control it. I really hope they do that someday, because that would make this game have a whole lot more value, or it would make the re-release have a whole lot more value. But yeah, so that is my DS game collection. I really like the DS. The DS might even just be like one of my favorite consoles of all time. And you know, it sold incredibly well. And rightfully so. It had a whole bunch of great games. There's a lot of DS games that I wish I owned, because the DS had such a fantastic library. But overall, I'm happy with my collection. I mean, I have a lot of like nothing games for the DS, but I also have a lot of games that I really like and that I look back fondly on. And a lot of those on the floor right now, so I guess I'm gonna have to pick those up. Thanks for watching.